This episode is brought to you by Voco Hotels by IHG, where you should prepare to be charmed. From Chicago to Myrtle Beach to Saranac Lake, each Voco in the U.S. has its own local flavor and unique detail. Our hosts welcome you with little extras, and you'll find rooms for catching up on me time and full-service bars and restaurants that are perfect for us time. Come on in and live the Voco life and book your next stay at vocohotels.com. VOCO hotels.com.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso. Gift magical mornings with Nespresso Virtuo Pop. Compact and stylish, Virtuo Pop is made to meet every morning coffee craving. From espresso to coffee, hot or iced, at the click of a button. And celebrate the season with Nespresso's limited edition coffee flavors. Sweet almond and hibiscus, cinnamon and candied tamarind, and festive double espresso. Magic in the making. Shop the holiday gift collection exclusively at Nespresso.com.
All right. Welcome back.
Misfit Nation. The Misfit Nation show.
We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by two veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their stories to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the Misfit Nation. If you're a musician or an actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share your tips with the Misfit Nation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you are a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and show how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you are a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and share your story with the Misfit Nation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, Stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or feel embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you are a new listener, welcome to the Misfit Nation show. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast app. Also on our YouTube channel at @the_Misfit Nation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date on our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show!
Misfit Nation, you asked for it, you got it. You got Steven and Jake, Cagney and Lacey from the ToosDay Crue together. One place at one time. See you Tuesday. Thanks for the support for the Misfit Nation.
We love you, Misfit Nation.
Love y'all.
Woo! It's time! Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, we have some bad news tonight. We can't go more than a week. Tonight, we remember Lieutenant Albert Stout Jr., Robstown Police Department, Texas. End of watch, Wednesday, August 6th, 2025. And closer to home, we remember Staff Sergeant Dylan Cisneros, Fort Campbell, Kentucky, August 11th, 2025. Let's keep both these warriors, families, friends, peers in your thoughts and prayers as they go through this sudden change in life. Now, misfits around the world, it's that time again. Listen up. Tonight just ain't another Tuesday. This is where legends speak, warriors rise, and you remember what you're made of. We don't just talk about grit here. We live it. We don't just tell stories. We drop bombs like a fire in your soul. You've been through the storms. You fought your battles, and you're still standing. Tonight, we turn that strength into power. So get on your feet, get loud, and show the world that nothing can stop a misfit with a mission. It's time for the Kings of Chaos, the voices of resilience, the unstoppable force, the ToosDay Crue.
Wow.
Hey,
Good evening, everybody. How are you?
good evening, good evening. Hey, Steven, what'd you think about them two sexy sons of bitches that Rich showed in that video?
We were looking a little odd in that video, but we had cake in our hand. We might have had a drink or two in us. I'm not sure.
I tell you
And
what,
I looked a lot like Uncle Fester, but
yeah, hey, that cake was amazing. That cake was amazing.
the cake was good. The night was great. The company was even better.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And again, I enjoyed meeting your lovely wife and daughter, and like I said, putting a face to the voices that I hear in the background every now and then. And
And now you know who to feel bad for, right?
them, yeah. Really enjoyed meeting your father. The whole family that was there, and had a real good time. Food was excellent. It was good music. It was a really good time.
It was a great weekend. It was good seeing everybody, and it was fun to get away from New Jersey for a little bit.
I can understand. I can understand. I gotta get away from Kentucky every now and then myself. So,
Mhm.
of course, I did it the other night. I came to Tennessee. So,
Yeah.
all right. Hey, we got a pretty good show lined up for tonight. Misfit Nation, if you're out there, if you got some credit card debt, depending on what kind of credit card you got, we got a guy here this evening that's gonna show us how to get out of that debt. He's gonna give us the steps that he took, steps that you can take, and basically what the banks do to basically fraud you into using that money. I think that's kind of the gist behind it. His name is Tommy Kilpatrick. He's the author of the book Forgive and Forget: How to Nuke Your Credit Card Debt. And he is going to come in here. I'm not going to tell his story. His story is pretty interesting. I'll let him tell that. But hey, without any further ado, let's get him in here.
Good evening, Tommy. How are you?
Very much.
How's it going, Tommy?
It's going fantastic. I'm alive and well, and here in the Philippines.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, hey, it's probably just as warm there as it is here.
It's very warm here. Yes, it is.
Tommy, I didn't give much of a biography on you other than you're the author of the book Forgive and Forget: How to Nuke Your Credit Card Debt, and basically was telling what you're going to talk to us about tonight, about erasing credit card debt if it's a certain kind of a card. Why don't you kind of tell your story to us a little bit, and then I'm sure the Misfit Nation will chime in, and they'll have a bunch of questions for you, because if they're like everybody else, I don't think I know many people that don't have at least some credit card debt and maybe can figure out how to get it erased. So go ahead, start whenever you want to start and bring us up to right now.
Well, I'm a retired teacher and I'm an author. So I had written a book on health and healing. And what had happened is that I was given an infomercial contract, and I was on the radio for about 6 months, having to use my credit card and to live on. And so what happened is one of the talents got in trouble with the FTC, and the company had canceled all of our contracts of the new talent. So there I was, left with $85,000 of credit card debt. I was promised about $100,000 a month, so 85 wasn't a big deal, and then things were going to go great. But that morning, I had realized that I had no money, and I had $85,000 of debt.
I don't know what I would have done in a situation like that, but well, tell us Tell us how you got out of that.
Yeah, right. There's a little bit of depression time. So one morning I woke up thinking about my dad. He's a CPA, a certified public accountant. And I was in school to be a CPA, although I never got the credential. I can do the work. And I realized the bank does not have an invoice. So without an invoice, there is no debt. And then I remember reading the book, Modern Money Mechanics, which was required reading in our accounting class. And it talked about how the banks accept a promissory note. And what they do is they write numbers into your free checking account. And that's how they make a loan. Well, my father at the time was an attorney and a judge, and we had long conversations about fraud and does all contracts. So I do not have a contractual agreement with the bank. So with that in mind, I filed 3 federal lawsuits against the banks in federal court in Los Angeles. So you can ask me if I won.
Well, I got to admit, I watched, just when I was doing my background research, I watched a couple other podcasts that you were on. So, yeah, I know the answer. So,
well, I was called it. Well, things were going great. Well, first of all, let me just say that I watched a YouTube video and said, hey, file a federal lawsuit. It's really easy. The judges are really accommodating to you because they know you're pro se. So I thought, hey, I'll do it. So with the help of my father-in-law, I filed the lawsuits, and we were heading towards discovery. So the bank was going to have to bring one of their employees to my office to be interviewed under oath with penalty of perjury. And they were going to have to prove that they had an invoice or a promissory note. And someone had to swear out that I actually had a debt. Well, I got called into court by the judge, and the defendants weren't there. The banks weren't there. I was there. So the judge said, Mr. Kilpatrick, do you have a credit card? Well, let me start at the beginning. Oh, we'll get to that later. Do you have a credit card? Well, it started off as a gift card. A gift card? Pull your card out. So I pulled the card out. What's it say right there? Credit card. You're an idiot. Get out of here. So he dismissed my 3 cases. So there it was. Back to square one, $85,000 of credit card debt. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to be sued, and it's just going to be a loser. So a month later, I happened to look at my credit report, and all 3 bank alleged credit card debts were gone. My credit score increased. I got my credit score improved after that. So does it work? Well, it worked for me.
well, yeah. Now, okay, so you got this bank credit card. So like, and I imagine a lot of our listeners, you get them in the mail all the time. You'll get a card from a bank that says, hey, all you have to do is activate this card and you've got let's say $1,000 line of credit. So if I take that and I put $1,000 on it, technically I don't have to pay that.
Well, first of all, I'm a doubting Thomas, so I encourage you both and your listeners to be a doubting Thomas too. So don't believe anything I have to say. I'll have some show notes there for you, so you look at the links and see what I'm saying is true. But send this podcast to your CPA or anyone who's had one class of accounting, and they'll tell you I'm actually 100% correct. So I don't help anybody unless they have a third party tell them I'm right. So from that being said, what we start off with is there's a crime happening. That's why I have revealed a worldwide bank fraud. So let's talk about words. Language is law, and language and law is language. So if you say you have credit card debt, you got it. You got to pay it. Sorry, I can't help you. But we're watching TV and we see a bank robbery, and they always say allege. So a mind is like a parachute. Military parachute, it only works when it's open. So I'm asking you to, and your audience, to be an open mind to say the word allege. So once you start the word allege, now you force the bank to provide the evidence that there's actually a debt, which they cannot prove. So that's what is going on, is that there are true credit cards. So I'm not trying to tell you to get out of debt. This is not a get out of debt scheme, okay? So let's say you need tires for your car, and you go to a tire store and you say $1,000 or $2,000. I don't have it. They don't have it. But they say, Hey, Lacey, hey, Cagney, why don't you just apply for the in-store credit card and see if you're approved? Well, go on to hope you're approved. Great. So you drive away and with new tires on your car and you didn't pay for them. Okay. At the end of the month, you get a statement. That's true. It's an outstanding unpaid invoice, which is true. You have to pay that. You took their tires. You promised to pay them. They did a service for you. So you have to pay them. Legally, morally, you have to pay them. But how about a Walmart card? How about Amazon? How about a department store? Look on the back of your card. If it says issued by Bank of America, Citibank, Wells Fargo, Bank of London, Bank of India, those are a phony card and they did not do a service to you. They cannot provide you an invoice.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Did the bank put tires on your car?
No.
Did they come out to your house and do a plumbing job? Do
No.
they have an outstanding unpaid invoice? No.
Yeah.
So there is no debt. They cannot issue a credit card. Banks cannot do that. They're not a merchant. So when you go into a merchant and they give you some service or a product, you don't ask them, hey, can I borrow $10,000? No, that's what the banks do. The banks are into loans. They're not into providing goods and services.
Okay. But now that would work different. So the trick is it's got to be on a card. Like that works different than say like a line of credit.
Well, it's back to a loan. So that's where we have to go with that direction. Okay. So once we establish that the bank does not have an invoice, so if you ask them for an invoice, they don't have one. Once we establish that, now you're saying it's a loan. So that's part of the game the banks are playing with you. On the one side, it appears that they are a merchant giving you services. On the other side, they're saying, oh, we're a bank. We give you a loan. Okay. So when you have no money and you go into a bank, you expect to come out with money. Maybe not with a gun, but you know what I mean? You apply for a loan. Let me ask you a question. If you apply for a loan at a bank and they turn you down, do you still get the loan? Cagney, Lacey,
No.
what do you get? You still get the loan?
No.
Of course not. You're turned down, you go away, you don't get it. But if you're approved, because that's what an application means, it means a request. You are asking. So you have to go into the bank and fill out loan documents. You've got to remember doing that, both of you, right? You fill out all those papers, right? And a page per page and all these things. You have to prove that you have an income. Because how are you going to pay the loan back? The bank is taken into court. The judge says, you're loaning money to people who don't even have a job, who can't even, that's predatory. So the banks can't do that. They have to make you prove you have an income. So they say, judge, he provided these stubs, that we thought they could pay it back. Okay. Then you have to have collateral. You have to have your car, your home, or if you have a personal loan, you put up your yacht, because that's the only way the bank can legally take that away from you, sell it. And if they come up short, that's too bad for them. If they come up long, they don't get to keep the extra money. They have to give that money back to you. So that is what a loan is all about. You have to have a credit report to show a history, and your credit score determines the interest rate. But the last thing you do is you sign a promise to pay it back. You can't get a loan without promising to pay it back, or it's a gift. So if I give you something, it's a gift. If I work a loan document out and you agree to it, we have a meeting of the minds, well, then that's a loan. We have a loan contract. So there was no promissory note. And that's the only way, that's in your show notes on the second link, is to the book, Modern Money Mechanics, because that was required reading. And what it says is banks accept a promissory note and they write numbers into your free checking account. That's how banks issue loans.
Okay. All right. Okay. So basically, this is a loophole that they haven't closed, or they're they're not counting on people to be smart enough to question this.
Well, that's what it is. They're pulling a rabbit out of the hat, and people are like, "Oh, they would never do that." That's what you did.
Is it a loophole or is it a crime? You see, they have this intentional. So they are setting you up with fraud. Okay, so how do you get out of this bank issued alleged credit card debt? That's the right terminology. So if you use the criminal's language, like credit report, like credit balance and things like that, and credit card, you're going to lose the argument. You have to start with the truth. And the truth is they gave you a card. They gave, without even asking, without applying, you got them in the mail. Pre-approved, go ahead and use it. So what'd you do? You got this card. I call it a gift card. You can call it a credit card. You'll lose. Start using my language. You got a gift card. You didn't buy it. You didn't make a loan for it. It just came in the mail. I call that a gift. So years ago, the banks had to get you to be a customer, and they would buy toasters and wall clocks and have them in the bank. When you came in, they say, "Hey, make a deposit, open up an account with us, and we'll give you this toaster." And back then, it was a big deal to have a toaster. Yeah. And then there was an ad in a paper. One time I saw that said, "Come into our bank, deposit $25, and we'll match it in 90 days." So what did I do? I took my $25, put it into my savings account, waited 91 days. There was $50 in my account. I went in, took it out, and closed the account. Now, I took $25 of the bank's money. Is that illegal?
No, they gave it
the bank off. Is that immoral? I mean, answer that question. Is that immoral what I did?
No, they gave it to you.
No, they gave it to me. That's part of the deal. Well, it's the same thing with your $500 credit card. You think it's a $500 credit card. No, it's a $500 gift card. So they sent you this gift card without any loan application, without even knowing you can pay it back. They didn't care because that came from their advertising budget, just like the wall clock, just like that. So in the show notes, in the fourth link, there's a guy on YouTube that says, do that. I've made $361 by going into a bank or doing it online, sending them money, waiting a period, taking the money out and closing the account. He's ahead $361. Well, I'm saying you're ahead 500. You're ahead 500,000. It doesn't matter. So what'd you do with your gift card? You spent it. You went to, let's say, Home Depot, and you bought a toilet, let's say a golden throne. So there you are walking out your toilet, and a guy at the door said, "Wait a second, did you pay for that?" You didn't pay for that, did you? $500 did not come out of your pocket. So who paid Home Depot that night or the next day?
The credit card.
Yeah.
Who paid? The bank.
Yeah,
right?
the bank paid.
Yeah, the bank paid. Now, where did the bank get the money? It's from their advertising budget. So their advertising budget fronted you $500 to get you as a customer. This is the scam. This is a scheme going on. Once they got you in, look it up yourself. I did this 2 months ago. I said, what's the average amount that a person pays on their credit card fees? It's $23.04. So if a bank has 1 million cardholders, they're bringing in $23 million a month. In my calculations, I figured that's about 1/4 of their profits. So this is not a loophole. This is not something they can close up. This is a crime. They are committing fraud, making you pay $23.04 on average a month for a free checking account. And that's what it is. It's a free checking account.
Yeah. Now let's run this down. Let's keep 23 million customers. Okay, we've got that.
Well, a million customers brings in $23 million a month.
Okay, yeah. However many customers they have, each one of us, let's say, has $10,000 or however much on these gift cards. All of us take it to court, decide not to pay. Now, we do that. Bank folds, whatever, runs out of money. And then, we've seen this happen before. They put the taxpayers on the hook for that money that they lost. Now, doing what I'm doing, aren't I cheating the American taxpayer?
Well, there you go. Let me just ask you a question. Is it possible for you, your audience, and me too, to have been lied to, indoctrinated, and brainwashed? Is it possible?
It's possible, yes.
It's possible. Okay. So if you've been lied to, a lie is a lie, and we can see that. But what happens if it's generational? What happens if your parents teach you a lie and their parents taught them a lie, and you've been told this is a credit card and you owe the money? Well, there you go. Now, if you don't question it, you've been brainwashed. So you have been indoctrinated, because we just covered that was a gift the bank gave you, like they would give you a wall clock or a toaster or $25 to match their $25, because what they're doing is charging you $23.04 on a free checking account. In about 22 months, they've made back their $500, right? And now you're paying $23 on average for the next 10, 15, 20 years at 79.9% interest. One podcaster told me he's paying not $800 a year for his free checking account. So that's how the banks are making money. So if you start off with their verbiage, you got the card, you have a credit card, you spent the money, of course you did, and now you owe the money. You've got the Stockholm syndrome. You've adopted your abuser, your person who is committing a crime. You've identified with them, and everything you say is what they belong to. I'm trying to stop that brainwashing by just one question of alleged. Let's back this up. So you take your gift card that I call it a gift card, you call it whatever you want, but you take your gift card to go Home Depot. They got you as a customer. You wrote a check, and you got a statement at the end of the month. Now, did you get one from Home Depot for an outstanding unpaid invoice?
No, I get one from the bank that Home Depot uses.
Right. And from the bank, you have a normal checking account. You get a statement at the end of the month. And is that a bill? On a normal checking account, is that a bill?
No.
No, it's not a bill. It's a statement. You see, I have an experience you don't have. When I was in school to be a CPA, I dropped out of school, and my first job was an accountant. I was doing accounts payable. I had the CFO, which was the CPA. He came up to me and pointed a finger in my face and said, if you pay for a mistake, I'm going to fire you. That's an impression I have for the rest of my life, because he said that the owners of the company might have made a deal with the company. We don't owe it. There could have been a crossing in the mail. We could have mailed a check last week, and you don't know that. Don't pay from a statement. Only pay from an invoice. And look up here, it's a department head signature. Only pay from an approved invoice that we say is okay to pay. So that's what you do. You do not pay from a statement. So you're a good person. You've been lied to. You've been indoctrinated. You're not questioning anything. You're going to write a check out because you owe the money. Morally, legally, you owe the bank money. No, you don't, but you do. So you write a check out from your bank of, let's say, bank of, just call your local bank, like Bank of Washington State or something like that. And you write that check out to Bank of America. Now, isn't that the first time Bank of America has ever gotten your money?
No.
Think about it. A card came in the mail. Bank of America sent you a card. You didn't ask for it, just came in the mail. You used it at Home Depot. You get a statement from Bank of America saying pay it. You write a check out from your personal bank, a Bank of Washington, and you mail it off to Bank of America. Now, isn't that the first time the Bank of America has ever seen your money?
Yeah.
See, you get it? So banks are only about loans. Remember what I said? If you have no money and you go to a bank, you get a loan, you walk out with money. The opposite is also true, and that's in your show notes in the very first link. You do not make a deposit. What you're doing is you're loaning the bank money. So you take money and put it into a bank and walk out without it. You are loaning the bank money.
Yes.
Now, in the Federal Reserve book called Modern Money Mechanics, it says right there mockingly, it says, of course we don't take depositors' money and pay it out to us other people. We don't loan that money out to other depositors, other people. There wouldn't be enough money. So what they do is they have you sign a promissory note, and then they write numbers, any numbers they want, into your account. So you wrote a check out to the bank. You loaned $500 to the bank, and then as you spend it, it goes down. As you make deposits, it goes back up. So every purchase you've made since then has been with your own money. So you put money into your checking account, you use it with a debit card. So in the beginning, your credit card is a gift card. Once you send money to the bank, you've actually loaned the bank your money. It's your money in that account. Every time you've used your money is through your debit card. So your credit card is not a credit card, it's a gift card. And then once you send money to the bank, it turns into a debit card. And that's where you're stuck paying interest, late fees, annual fees on a free checking account.
Okay. All right.
Takes a little while to
Yeah.
you've been brainwashed and indoctrinated for so long. Just
Yeah.
open your mind up.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to take just a short break here. I'm going to recap Misfit Nation, ToosDay Crue. We are talking to Tommy Kilpatrick. He is the author of Forgive and Forget, How to Nuke Your Credit Card Debt. And we have went through some examples on how to do that. We're going to take a little break here, and we are going to answer some questions. You want to run through those, Stephen?
The ones to us? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, do them too.
All right. Snack Attack wants to know which one of you was in charge of the snacks and which one was in charge of quality control, aka eating half of them before the guests arrived. We were the guests at the party.
Yes.
So we rummaged through all the snacks, but we didn't actually get there before everybody started eating them.
And I must say the snacks were good.
Yes, they were. I heard Blueberries wants to know, Jake and Steve, be honest. Did you pick each other's costumes, or is this just a beautiful accident of bad decision making? Yes. No, we didn't pick each other's costumes.
We did not. I went with things that I had around the house, and I can dress up like Farmer Fran any day of the week. So,
and me being bald, all I did was put black makeup around my eyes, and I was Uncle Fester.
Lima, not Peru. If there's a dance off, who's bringing the moves and who's bringing the emergency medical attention? I tell you what,
I don't think either of us are really going to move that much.
No, I don't dance much unless it is buckle rubbing with Mrs. Holland, and that's about as fast as I get.
And real quick, don't forget to check us out on Mondays on Reach Across America at 3 p.m. Eastern. There we go, right there. And now back to the show. Wait.
Oh, hey, Hillbilly JoJo. So if I use my credit card to buy some beer and drive home drinking it, can I get out of the DUI by contesting the card?
I don't think that's how that works, but
you can try anything, man. You know, it ain't stupid if it works.
What just happened?
I don't know, but I don't see you anymore. Oh, well, Stephen disappeared on us. He'll be back up here in a minute. Hey, Misfit Nation out there listening. Hey, Frank, you have a great week too. Thank you. If you're feeling the darkness, you're feeling the pain, please reach out, talk to someone, get on that phone, dial 988. If you're a veteran, take option 1. Somebody there will be there to talk to you. If you don't get the answers that you want from them, contact us. Jake at the Misfit Nation, Stephen at the Misfit Nation, info at the Misfit Nation. Drop your phone number in there. We'll call you, or we'll send you our phone number. You can call us at your convenience. The world is too beautiful with you in it to not have you here tomorrow. And it hit kind of close to home this week. So just do that, please. We love having you in our audience, and we love having you here on the planet. So please reach out to somebody. There's no problems that cannot be fixed. You might think that they can't be fixed, but I'll be truthful with you right here. I'm living proof that problems can be fixed. So, talk to somebody about it and get those problems fixed. Welcome back, Stephen. I guess he can't hear yet. All right, Tommy, we'll get back to it here. So kind of take us through the framework of exactly how to do this and how talk about some, after we do that, I want you to talk about some mistakes that people make when negotiating with banks with these gifts or, loans or, however we're going to call them. So go ahead. The floor is yours.
Sure. Well, let me just tell you that I had a friend of mine who had a dormant charity, and she gave it to me, and I revamped it into credit repair. And so a lot of people that came to our charity also had alleged bank issue, alleged credit card debt. So I would write a letter to the bank and it'd be off their credit report. So that's all we wanted. Was what happened to me is they do a click and I remove it off your credit report. So that's all it needs to be done. I helped about 1,000 people over about a 10-year period. Some of the ones that had larger amounts, the banks would push back 50, 100,000, and they would maybe do a lawsuit. You can't stop them from doing a lawsuit. Okay. Mm-hmm. So what we would do is I had an expert CPA witness, and he would testify that, first of all, there is no credit card. The banks do not have an invoice. If they have one, we agree to pay it, send it over to us. And there is no loan because they violated federal banking regulations. They can't issue loans without a promise to pay it back. So that's where we would have that argument. So it was very effective because the bank's attorney would meet us out in the hallway and go, okay, what do you want? Click. That's all we wanted was it off the credit report. And we'd also say there'll be no 1099-C. Now, I have to kind of explain that a little bit, because if you borrow $100,000 from a bank and you don't pay it back, they tell the IRS you got $100,000. Not to be a rat fink, but what they're doing is they're able to take that as a deduction. That is bad loan. It's a loss on their income taxes, so they pay less income taxes. So when I filed my federal lawsuit, I included in there that said, if you file a 1099-C against me, I'm going to file a 3949-A against you. So my dad being a CPA, I grew up with the IRS as part of my DNA, so I've got it down. So this is a form you let the IRS know of fraud. And so the bank knew if they did that to me or any of my charitable clients, then that's what would happen. And so they never filed a 1099-C on me. So I didn't have to pay taxes on a loan I never got. So that's the thing that you have to keep that in mind. So what we would do is write a letter to the bank, and that's one of the weakest things you can do. Okay. What would be a little stronger is if you had your CPA also write a letter to the bank, because what you're asking the bank to do is to close your free checking account. That's what you're saying. Please close my free checking account, but you better take your money out first. If you use the criminal's language, max out your card, I'm telling you to withdraw your money out of your checking account. If you don't do that, they're going to confiscate it. There is no such thing as reducing your credit limit. That is a theft. The bank has gone into your free checking account and took out, let's say, half. Now you have $250 credit limit. Oh, they lowered my credit limit. No, they didn't. They took $250 out of your account that you put in there. So there is no such thing as that of a credit limit and things like that. So have your CPA write a letter to the bank saying that, first of all, if there's an invoice, send it. I agree to pay it. 2, you could never have done a loan because you don't have a promissory note. If you have a promissory note, show it to me. I want to see that. And then you have your attorney. Oh no, now you're talking $200 or $300 for an attorney letter. No, there's a thing called Legal Shield. It was from Prepaid Legal. It's $29 a month, and you have an attorney for a month. You don't need to do it any more than that. And have that attorney write a letter to the bank saying fraud undoes all contracts. It's over and over. The Supreme Court's ruled multiple times that you cannot be obligated to a contract if they're fraudulent, if they're criminal. So you also could make it stronger by having a lawsuit, but you don't file it. This is the thing. You fill out like my lawsuit, fill it all out, all the discovery, and the bank gets a brick of legal paperwork. Then here's the best part, an injunction. Now, I mention that now because most people in the audience know what I'm talking about. Trump does one thing, someone runs into court, files an injunction, everything stops, right?
Yes.
Same thing. So you're not filing this in court. You're not paying any court fees. You're letting the bank know if they sue you, you're going to file immediately an injunction. And what that does is tells the judge that these people have no case, and they have to bring a certified copy of the promissory note, an unpaid outstanding invoice, and an affidavit of debt. We're asking for someone in the bank to swear out on the penalty of perjury that they're going to go to jail or be into a fine if that's not true, that they have the documentation that you have a debt. If bank does not provide that, they're in contempt of court. So everything stops. So the bank knows they're a criminal, you know they're a criminal, and all you're asking them to do is click off your credit report. That's all you're asking to be done, and no 1099-C, and that's in the paperwork. So that is how you want to effectively deal with your bank-issued alleged credit card, which is actually a promotion to get you to be a customer, and they make money off of you, and you're just getting off the merry-go-round. You're getting off this debt cycle, and you're saying, no, thank you.
Okay. All right. We had a question come in from DevilDog0312. What made you first question the legitimacy of your credit card debt? Thank you for that question, Devil Dog.
Yeah. It was when I was saddled with $85,000 of credit card debt. Remember, that's what I thought it was. And I woke up one morning realizing they don't have an invoice. And that's the only debt instrument you have to prove you have a debt. So you have to have the invoice, they have the date, the product you took, the service you provided, they provided for you, the terms and conditions. Oh, back to that. You use the card and you have to apply, you have to conform to their terms and conditions, not under fraud. So you don't have a contractual agreement with that bank. So that's how I realized that, wait a second, there's no invoice. And I can't be the first person. I'm an accountant. I know how to count, and I have a memory. So that's why I remember from the book, Modern Money Mechanics, it was required reading. And I know banks have to have a promissory note. You got to promise to pay it back. And then that's how they make a loan. Well, if you didn't promise to pay it back, I'd call it a gift. So it took this, my experience, but I can't be the only one. So I'm thinking, why doesn't everybody know this and do it? Well, probably they're having you sign a non-disclosure. So don't be surprised to work this deal out. You have to sign a non-disclosure because they don't want this in court. They don't want this to be in a court record that anybody could look in that court record, see my complaint, or I file the same thing and they'll win. But since you don't win, nobody knows about it, then the fraud, the lies, the indoctrination, and the brainwashing continues even to this day.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I'm definitely gonna. I do have a CPA friend. I will send him a copy of this podcast, and I'm gonna have him look at it and just see. Now, this really it don't affect me right now because I learned with number two, credit card debt is bad. So I stay away from it. But
well, you can ask me. You can ask me. Do I have a credit card? Yes. Well, wait a second.
Okay.
You got a credit card? And yeah, and you know all this? Yes. I was off grid for about 10 years. I was on farms. I didn't have any relationship, any connection with money and stuff. I took a vow of poverty, kind of like a monk. So I took a little trip. So I was going to the Philippines and I needed to buy an airline ticket. So the only way you can do that is with a credit card. And I needed to rent a car with a credit card. It doesn't work with a debit card. They need to know you're going to have the money to pay it if they put charges on it, right? So I applied for a $500 credit card with Capital One, and they gave me, that's the important words, they gave me a $500 credit card, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I had no score and nothing on my credit report. It was blank. So how did I do that? I was a previous customer. I must have been a good customer to have just given me out of 10 years or 12 years later, they gave me this credit card. they're one of the banks I sued for $35,000 of alleged credit card debt. So I'm telling you, you can close your free checking account and turn right around and apply for a credit card. And I'm telling you, your score is going to go up because it's off your credit report because it was derogatory. And now they would issue because they are into getting a customer. A customer makes them $23.04 on average. So they don't care. They know somehow, some way you're going to screw up. So I got a credit score of 550 once I got the credit card. And then I got a little loan from a credit union, and that boosted me up to 625. And I use the card 10%, so $50. I use every month. I pay it off, never be late, and it's not an annual fee. So the bank is going to get nothing from me. This is my free checking account. And so I know it's my money. I know it's a scam, but they're not going to get a penny from me because I'm one of the 12% of the people who don't pay anything. But for you rest of you people, get back in the cycle of things. Well, it's up to you what you want to do. But here's a way that you can not get out of your credit card debt, but to close your free checking account, but take the money first because they'll steal it from you and they won't give it back to you. So close your account first, but take the money out first and close your account. And if you want to reapply, it worked for me. So there you go.
All right. We got another question that popped in. Stephen, you back with us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm back with you. I have sound again. I don't know what the hell happened. I was in and out. I actually shut everything down and came back in. Anyway, at EFNA Man wants to know, have any CPAs or financial pros ever tried to debunk your claims, and how did you respond?
That's perfect. I love it because that's the first thing I said. Don't believe anything I have to say. Go to the show notes and you can see the links that banks do not issue loans and they don't take deposits and they don't loan out depositors money. And so you only involved in loans. So either you go in and get a loan from them or you take money and deposit in and it's a loan to them. So how the CPAs work is read my book. In my book on one chapter called Act 1, Scene 1 is what happened to me. It's going to happen to me several times when I had my expert witness, a CPA, in court with me. Okay, so it's a scenario of the defendant, a credit card holder. She thinks she has credit cards. She went to an attorney and tried to fight this. So the judge said the first thing to the attorney, do you have a credit card? Yes, I do. Do you use it? Yes, I do. Do you get a bill at the end of the month? Yes, I do. Do you pay it every month? Yes, I do. And what if you didn't? Well, I'd be in collections. I'd probably be here in front of you. Exactly. Mr. Attorney, I'm going to have you disbarred because you're bringing a fraud to the court. He goes, wait, 1 second. My client has a day in court, right? Of presumed innocence. Okay, let's see where it goes. That's when a CPA comes up on a stand. And now the attorney says, the judge asked me if I had a credit card. Do I have a credit card? And the CPA says, no. How is it not a credit card? It's not, they don't have an invoice. They don't issue credit. They do a loan. Okay, do they give me a loan? No. Why didn't they give me a loan? Because you didn't sign a promissory note. Okay, so it's in a scenario. So have your CPA just read that one chapter in my book, and I have a free 15-minute consultation. So do the consultation, and I'll give you my $69 book for free. So you can send that to your CPA and have them tell you, first of all, the bank does not have an invoice. So if you want to take the devil's advocate, oh, he's full of baloney. Okay, let's go that direction. Does the bank have an invoice? No. Does the bank have a promissory note? No. Does fraud undo all contracts? Well, I don't know about that. Let's say I buy your house, Lacey, and you own it, and I'm making payments to you. But you didn't inform me you dumped toxic waste in a backyard. Now, my kids and my wife are all getting sick. I'm going to die if I stay there another day because you dumped toxic waste. Do I have to keep staying in that house? Do I have to keep paying you every month? No. You're a criminal. You didn't disclose. Disclosure is the important thing about a contract. So the bank did not disclose to you that this was a free checking account and we're going to charge you $23.04 on average per month. That's the crime they committed. So I have had several podcasters from London who are actually ACA. In their terminology, that's a CPA in London. And they did not have any argument against me because how can you argue against me? One, do they have an invoice? If they have an invoice, send it to me and I'll pay it. Two, if they're a loan, well, where's the loan documents? Where's the promise to pay it back? So without that, there is no argument against me. I have the truth, and the truth is always will set you free. John 8:32.
All right. Hey, I got a couple more questions here. Suleiman Splash 2019. Did you move out of the States to get away from the courts of creditors?
That's a good one. Oh no, I had the wife about 13 years ago now said, get out and take the dog with you. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me. So I took a vow of poverty and I became homeless on purpose. So I traveled across the United States, mostly on farms. And so when I decided to come to the Philippines, I looked up WWOOF, this Worldwide Opportunity Organic Farming. And that's where I found farmers here would invite you to come and stay at their place. So I have room and board. So I had a place to stay. And I teach farmers how to build dome houses out of bamboo. I'm also teaching them how to do vertical gardening, so no more bending over. And I'm also involved because I used to have 5 medical clinics. I'm here to open up free medical, kind of self-managed medical care for them here. So that's what I did with the military. I had a location in Temecula, and we had an office there. We dealt with Camp Pendleton. So I was invited to the first time the Marines ever admitted PTSD existed. And that's where I had set up my chairs, different devices that relax the soldiers. They don't call Marine soldiers, but then I treated the Marines there. And I had chaplains come up to me and I said, they would tell me, I have a lot of men who are suicidal. What can you do for me? I said, I want the extreme PTSD. I don't want the minimal. I want the most extreme PTSD. And they would put them in a bus. They would come to my clinic, and in 4 or 5 hours, they would leave like marshmallows. I had chairs that gave them massage. I had beds that gave them massage. I had foot bath ionizers to put their feet in a bucket of warm water, and scum would come out of them, and they'd get energized. I had all different kinds. I had far infrared dry sauna. I had essential oils. I had relaxing music. I had energized water. So in a matter of 4 to 5 hours, they walked out without the stress. And they found that I was the most effective treatment they've ever had. Well, why did you get a contract? That's because Cunningham, he was one of the representatives in that San Diego area. I later learned it was a bribe. I didn't know this at the time, but you had to go to him to put a bribe to get the military contract. So that's what he got put in jail for. So no, I didn't escape anything, and I'm a completely open book. So I'm here to help and heal the people here of the Philippines.
All right. Hey, we got time for one more question. Oh, sorry about that.
At Juju Beans 34 wants to know, what's the success rate of people who follow your letter writing method?
Well, you don't believe me. I could say 100%. Then how do you know? It's just think it through a little bit. Sit down with your CPA and go, wait. Now, the CPA, my dad was very, very strict and very conservative. So they'll probably won't do this. But all you can do is ask them, is this true? Does the bank have an invoice? And if you ask the bank to close your checking account, will they do that? I think so. So you ask them to close your checking account. You'd also ask them not to send you a 1099-C. That's an important thing to put in there. Then what you do is you have your CPA say, if you have an outstanding unpaid invoice, please send it to me and I will pay it. Okay, so we're already offering to settle this debt if they have it. On the other side, you have them say that there is no loan because there is no promissory note. Now, think about this, folks. If you buy a share of stock, and now you're a holder of a bank, it's your bank, would you want your bank to loan out your money to people who don't have an income? Crazy. No. Would you want to loan out your money to people who can't pay it back? No. Would you want to loan people money who don't even promise to pay it back? There's something wrong with this whole scenario. So don't believe me. What's it going to take? Write a letter. So what's going to happen to you? You write a letter, they close the account. And then you ask it to be off your credit report. Well, what if they don't take it off the credit report? You send what you sent the bank to the credit reporting agency and say, this is a fraudulent account. This is an error on my credit report. And guess what? It's off your credit report. So if it's off your credit report, isn't that what you want?
Yeah.
And if they sue you, fine, bring it on. Because now you can go to court with your injunction and it's going to stop in 30 days. And you can do it yourself. It's not difficult. It's not scary at all. You just look it up. I can help you. Just fill out the thing. They send it into court. And now they have to prove to the judge. And if they don't do it in 30 days, they're in contempt of court. So you'll be fine.
All right. Well, hey, I tell you what, this hour has zoomed on by. We're going to have to wrap things up and get out of here. Real quick before we go, what's 3 things that Tommy has to do non-negotiable every morning before, when your feet hit the floor?
Make my bed. So it's always bring order back into my life. I always say in my language here, my own aga, which means good morning to my fiance. So that's the second thing. And then it's take on the day. Let's bring it on. I just can't wait to jump out of bed and do a podcast. I got another one later on. I got 17 more lined up. I've done about 72 of these in the last 3 months. So I'm excited about this. So what's going to happen is from sales of the book, finances, what I'm doing here in the Philippines. So it's going to help farmers become more independent. They're able to sell kits on dome houses that they make out of bamboo for free. And so that's what I'm up to. So, yep, that's what I do. 3 things.
All right. Well, hey, thank you very much for coming on here today, Tommy. And, enjoy what's going to be left of you've got a whole day ahead of you there in the Philippines right now. So enjoy your day. ToosDay Crue, thank you for jumping on this evening. And remember again, if you're feeling the darkness, get on that phone, dial 988, take option 1. If you don't want to do that, find somebody to talk to. Email us. We'll talk to you. And, we want to have you around. Want to remember the families of Albert Stout and Staff Sergeant Dylan Cisneros. Keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And Misfit Nation, ToosDay Crue, we will see you next Tuesday. Any parting words, Stephen?
No. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the questions. It was a good night.
You did make a badass Uncle Fester, though.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling because we are Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.
You know the words dominating today's headlines.
Private equity,
generative capital gains tax.
America's chip war with market volatility.
On Fed rate cuts.
But do you understand how they impact your world and your wallet? In a world that skims the what, understand the why. Because context changes everything. Subscribe at Bloomberg.com.
Every minute your finance team spends wrestling with data is a minute lost. Insight Software's AI-powered insights instantly move you from complexity to clarity. Automated analysis, real-time reporting, strategic recommendations, all at your fingertips. Transform how your finance team works and watch your business grow. Stop wasting time. Start making smarter decisions. Learn more at insightsoftware.com/AI.